Hello, sisters and brothers. Our devotional for today, for July 1, is a reflection on My Utmost for His Highest, a series of devotionals written and compiled by Oswald Chambers. You can always find the link for the daily devotional at utmost.org. And for today's devotional, we return to the same passage as yesterday. We're going to focus on a different part of those verses. But Matthew 5, I'll read verses 23 through 26. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First, go and be reconciled to them. Then come and offer your gift. Settle matters quickly with your adversary who is taking you to court. Do it while you are still together on the way, or your adversary may hand you over to the judge, and the judge may hand you over to the officer, and you may be thrown into prison. And then the key verse for today is verse 26. Truly I tell you, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. And Chambers titles the devotional for today, The Inevitable Penalty. There is no heaven that has a little corner of hell in it. God is determined to make you pure, holy, and right, and He will not allow you to escape from the scrutiny of the Holy Spirit for even one moment. He urged you to come to judgment immediately when He convicted you, but you did not obey. Then the inevitable process began to work, bringing its inevitable penalty. Now you have been thrown into prison, and you will by no means get out of there till you have paid the last penny. Matthew 5, 25 and 26. Yet you ask, is this a God of mercy and love? When seen from God's perspective, it is a glorious ministry of love. God is going to bring you out pure, spotless, and undefiled. But He wants you to recognize the nature you are exhibiting, the nature of demanding your right to yourself. The moment you are willing for God to change your nature, His recreating forces will begin to work. And the moment you realize that God's purpose is to get you into the right relationship with Himself and then with others, He will reach the very limits of the universe to help you take the right road. Decide to do it right now, saying, yes, Lord, I will write that letter, or I will be reconciled to that person now. These sermons of Jesus Christ are meant for your will and your conscience, not for your head. If you dispute these verses from the Sermon on the Mount with your head, you will dull the appeal to your heart. If you find yourself asking, I wonder why I'm not growing spiritually with God, then ask yourself if you are paying your debts from God's standpoint. Do now what you will have to do someday. Every moral question or call comes with an ought behind it, the knowledge of knowing what we ought to do. So, digging in a little bit deeper on what we talked about yesterday, where we are called to make things right with our brothers and sisters. We're called to reconcile. But here, Chambers digs a little deeper and focusing on verse 26 of Matthew 5 and says, even to the last penny. And he points out that the order in which we are to be made in right relationship is with God first and then with others. So start by thinking about, is there some area where I know I haven't let God in to that? I haven't acknowledged my wrongdoing, or as Chambers puts it, my right to myself. Is there an area that you need to surrender to God that maybe you've been wrestling with? And then if you allow God to do His work there, it will naturally lead you to a place where you are doing that same work with others, where you want to be in right relationship with others, where a wrong word or something that was disagreed upon, something that was said in anger or out of hurt feelings, and now there's this small corner or this last penny that hasn't been reconciled with someone else. So this is the order that we need to consider that. What is God calling out of me? Where does He want to make the relationship right with Him again? What little corner, what last penny do I need to surrender? And then when you do that, you'll naturally start to notice that God is calling you into right relationship with others as well. Thank you as always for listening. Be safe and stay well.